Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect. In the previous series we made a high-risk facility on an island and turned on a lot of the optional extras to make it extra difficult. So we had events, we had fairly states and gangs, and we experienced a lot of those too. And apparently Prisoner Sexton there is glowing green. Either they're really annoyed or they are sick. Anyway, I digress. So there's been a new patch out and I thought we would start a new series. The Clink update is out. If I just move you can see the splash screen is different here. We've got the Paradox Interactive logo on the left and also 11 on the right. Paradox now own Prison Architect and 11, I believe, are the ones that made the original ports over two different consoles, and they are now, I guess they're the lead sort of devs on this one instead of Introversion. So we can see that from the 27th of June 19, we've got the Clink update, which adds 4 new doors and 4 new wall types. Performance improvements, we have an additional foreman capacity, so instead of 1 foreman maximum, we now have 5, and we're going to exploit that in this build. We have existing objects have additional rotation, so things like the laundry machine, for example, that could not be rotated, and there was only, I think, sort of like 3 rotations out of the 4 for things like the for the visitor table. So apparently all those have got full rotations now, which is really good. I think that might be underestimated, but that's really good. New guard response button as well as tunnel search for the guards there. We've got additional quick rooms, and also following prisoners is easy. So not a massive expansive list of huge changes and additions, but a nice little extra touch there, and hopefully we'll see more of that to come. Anyway, let's go over to create new prison, and the idea is that we want to go pretty much the opposite of what we've just done. So we had a very high secure, medium capacity, high risk facility that didn't really do much other than support the prisoners. But what we want to do in this one is have it a fairly high capacity, or eventually high capacity facility that's fairly low risk but does a lot of work. And that's what I mean when I said we're going to exploit the extra foreman jobs, because we're going to have multiple workshops. In fact, the idea is to make dormitories and workshops in situ so that we have about the same capacity in each, and we get a lot of the prisoners working, as well as working in the kitchen and in the library and shop and cleaning cupboard and all of that sort of thing, and having a lot of reform as well. So in that case, we're going to go for a low risk facility, and let's just crack on. So we're going to have a male facility. We're going to go for probably Periwinkle as our warden. The reason for that is guard dogs have a 50% chance of fully uncovering any tunnels they detect. Tunnels being a massive problem in this facility. I can tell that already without even building it, because, well, we're going to have dormitories, and these are going to be quite close to the edge, I would imagine, for various expansion purposes, which I'll get onto later on. We're going to have fog of war on, small map, generate forest, yes, not lakes or buildings. We will have fairly conditions there. We're not going to bother with gangs, but we will bother with events. We're not going to bother with weather and temperature. And staff needs, do we need to do staff needs? I don't think we do, because the prison is going to be quite small, so it would be quite prohibitive. At least the original footprint's going to be that anyway. We could go for medium, but I think just a small one for now will be fine, because I don't think we've really gone for something like that in a bit, and I think that's about right. So we'll click play and we will go ahead and pause it. Like most of the series starts, we're going to be planning most things off in this episode, and then following from the next one we'll actually start to build up. But prisoners, we probably won't get them for quite some time, so we're going to go with a 2x2 gap all the way around here, so double wall there. We're going to measure from the top edge, and we're going to measure up to 40, and then that should be the center. What I'll do is just measure that once again. That should be a 39, which it is, and then back from the bottom there, and we can see that is now a 39. So that's all planned off correctly. So we'll just go to pathways here and run a pathway right through the center. So that is the center of the prison. I'm not fussed on making it completely symmetrical, however, we'll see what we can do. So in terms of the buildings, I'm actually going to plan off the workshop first. Now, the internals should be probably 16 by 15, I think. Is that correct? 16 by 15? And that means that we've got, like, I think it's like 20... a total of 20 prisoners for that, so that'll go in there. We can probably do a similar thing next to it, although maybe making it a little bit longer would be about right. If we did that there, so this is going to be a total of 17, so 17 would bring us to there, and that's not good enough. So what we'll do is we'll expand it by a couple, like so, and shrink it down by 1. I'm not too bothered if it is a little bit oversized. There we go. So that should be 16 to there, and then the one next door, we can have it probably 16 to there, and then, actually, or do we want to make it have a little bit of a gap? Is that 16 external diameter? External length is 16 by 21. I don't know if that's about right, but we can have then a total of we can have a total of 4 workshops in there, like so. I might even make it just to the 22 to make it a little bit more even, and that's going to be where we have workshops. Let me just do a very quick plan in here. How many can we fit in? Apparently full rotation has now been set, as I mentioned earlier, for the objects, and I don't know if that actually is the case for the workshop saw and presses and the carpenter tables, but we'll have to see. And so we could have 3, 6, 9 with some tables, or we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can't have one there. So do we want to shrink it down by a couple? Because we'd have it like there and there and there. I mean, it's already quite big anyway, isn't it? With some tables along there. So 4, 8, 12, 20. Yeah, so we don't need it that size, but the current size, it's just too big. So we will shrink it down by 2. So it's 18 by 14. I don't know if the maths works out, but it's a better size for what we need in here. So that should be about right. If it's slightly wrong, then I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, quite frankly. So internal 18 by 14. We're going to go and just get rid of the majority of that, and then there we are. You can see there is a gap of 1 all the way around. These will have connections where we'll have probably a pathway going along like so. Now, I was originally going to do something like this, where we have like an entrance there, and then this would be our dormitory. So they are literally connected at the sort of centre there. But the problem with that is that we're assuming that these prisoners are going to be assigned to that workshop. But if that prisoner there is assigned to this one here, then it's all kinds of problematic, and you have to go through, and it's just not worth. It's not worth it. It really isn't. So instead, what we'll do is we'll have our pathways going along like so. You can see that we've put it so that we can expand from the north and the south, and that's going to be where we'll be able to add extra dormitories as well as extra workshops. And then on the west side, we're going to expand this side, and then we'll probably have a couple more workshops in the centre, and then around it, forestry. So that's a rough idea. Obviously, all of this is, after all, subject to change. So we'll go for an internal size for this of... I mean, that's 16 by 14. They've got 18, 16 by 14. You need a gap of 1 all the way around for these the beds, and that is not right. What if we can do it that way instead? No, we're still going to have a bit of a weird sizing issue there, but we can always put some toilets and other things down there as well. I'm hoping for... I mean, how many would we be able to fit in if we did something like that? So it'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that would be 10, 20, 30 prisoners in that there alone. And then we're going to times that by 4. And that's plus and minus whatever extra we add. I'm very tempted to make it just a little bit bigger. 16, maybe up to 18 to there. Just so if we want to, we can either add more, or more likely we'll put some spaces in. So we'll say get rid of those, we'll put some in there, and move them along here. Something like that. And then, don't know. Do we want to do something like that? We could have something like that and then have all of the bits down here. Or we can sort of remove some central sections and then have grading. But that's going to be the rough size of it. As I said, this is subject to change as always. But that's going to be what we think our dormitory is going to hold. I think it is oversized now that I look at it. Yeah, shrink it by a couple. Just because I'm thinking, can we get the rest in? This is, after all, a very small facility. So we're going to shrink it to there. If we need to change it, we will change it. And we're going to have the walkways there. In there, we could connect them actually, but I prefer the little gap around so we can have some patrols. Obviously, this bit here and this bit up here is stupidly high risk. Because we could easily have people going to escape there. Let me go over to reports here and intake. We're going to close that intake off there. I'm going to unpause it and go over to our objects and the dismantle object, and then we're going to just run around and just set all of these trees to dismantle, and then we will export them and sell them off because that'll give us a nice bit of cash there. And that's got the majority of them, and we'll see what we need to get later on. We're going to go over to rooms. We'll change our deliveries. Once we have full deliveries, we're going to put the deliveries on the other side. In terms of the entrance, we already know where that's going to be. However, today's beverage is a nice cup of tea. And what we'll do is we'll probably have right here, we'll have the Do I want that right there? I was thinking to have the reception right in the centre here. We could do that. That's not a problem. All we do is we just plan it up like there and along and then down, and that's enough for the reception. I mean, as long as you have, actually, no, it's probably not big enough for reception. That is probably the better size, yeah. And then we'll have tables along there because you need a tables of 4. So we'll have that there and the tables on either side. And we could probably go for walls there, walls there. We'll have jail door, jail door. We'll have jail door and the what is it? The jail door as well as the trees falling down, as well as the metal detectors there. From the back here, that'll be another set of doors and metal detectors that'll go into whatever we have on these other sides. So we need all manner of things. I think what we'll do is have a corridor of 1 that goes along and around. So a corridor of 1, this will be for like visitors and other things like that. After we get into this bit here, this is going to be where we'll have a couple of things. We definitely want in and around here probably our canteen. So I'm going to plan our canteen off. Oh, actually, I haven't got any showers for these. Right, that's going to be more of a priority. We could, if we wanted to, have something like so. Because there's the entrance. Where's the... hang on, where is the entrance? 6 and 6. 6 and 6, yeah. And then there's your shower for either side. It means you're going through the showers, doesn't it, though? So I think what we'll do is we will have that at the back. And the shower's at the back there, you see? That's a better idea. That is a better idea, I think. It does, however, mean, once again, expanding this dormitory, which is already getting... It's already encroaching on the front of the facility where we really don't have anything else in there yet. So we'll see what we can do. We'll get rid of those. You might not be able to fit in everything, but we'll do our best. There's the entrances. And there we are. Something like that. I think so. Just going to double check the sizing. 16. 16. And 16. 16. Yes, that is fine. Right. So from here, we will have probably a walkway that goes along like so. That's going to be a pathway there. That's not a pathway, that's object set. So pathway will come down like so. And again, we are planning so we can easily expand to the north and the south. So that's why we're putting the path there. Eventually this wall will move and we'll add more stuff in. So there's that there. We will have our canteen in here. So it's a fairly big canteen. Probably oversized. I'm used to oversizing the canteen, but I'd rather oversize it now because considering we're going to get a lot more prisoners, it's probably best to do so. How many tables and chairs could we fit in? Assuming there's one entrance, which that's all kinds of bad, what we'll do is have an entrance there, an entrance there, and an entrance in there. Although we could probably do without the central one. It's not too bad though. Obviously we can have phone booths right across there like we normally do. Toilets is also a good option in here, but we'll see if we've got the space. In terms of the sizing, we could go 3x4, 3x4, 3x4. That does work. The problem with it is we've got a lot of this sort of dead space in the centre here where we don't really have much room to do anything. Let me try working it a different way. So we'll go 3x4, 3x4, 3x4. Could do a third one in there, although not entirely confident that is worth it. So if you do that, you've got that walkway in there with the gap. But where would this other one go? Could do that and just get rid of the central one. Not that we strictly need it anywhere. And then you've probably got better flow that way. Probably. Let's get rid of those. Actually, no, they were fine where they were. I think they were fine where they were. Something like that. Okay, let's continue working our way along. Actually, it's probably best if I just do that and then cut that out, and cut that out. If we're trying to save some valuable mouse feet. I think 32. Nowhere near enough. Okay. We need another full row in. Right, so another row in there. And that means that the wall has to be expanded upon. At least to that. At the absolute bare minimum. To there. And even then, not too sure. We'll probably have some secondary... I think we'll have some secondary stuff later on. So when we expand north and south, we'll have some secondary kitchens and canteens. Speaking of kitchen and canteen, the idea was originally to put it on one side here, but that would be far too small. Although we could do that and just go, boom, there you go, done. That is the kitchen. That wouldn't be a terrible idea if we didn't need to increase it by another one anyway, because we also need some serving tables, which we can have 15 there, and then 15 there, and then you've got your double door in the centre here for probably, it will be automatic door there. We'll close that off. We'll have probably a door in there and door in there, and then they'll come in and around. And this won't be staff only. We could just have it as a, I don't know if that a good way in and out. Although if we do that, that means that we can have a standard door there to the kitchen. No, I don't like the fact that the prisoners have to go into this atrium here, which then connects to a lot of the other stuff. Obviously, this is a low-risk facility, so the chances of something kicking off are quite low. But then again, you don't want to tempt fate, do you? So maybe if we say objects go down to 10, have a door there, and then say 5 to there. That's about right. Yeah, that's okay. I would still like to chop, say... Hang on. So 5 there. 15 there. We'll go to 10 there and 10 there. So it's 4 serving tables. I think we'll need a 5th like that. And then what we'll do is we'll have a wall that goes along. And this is going to be... basically toilets in there. So we'll have a little separate toilet area so the prisoners can use the loo. That's not too bad. It's not symmetrical, but like I say, we're not trying to totally aim for that one. We can have a total of 11. Great, perfect sizing. 11 to there if we really wanted to. What I'll do then is I will go ahead and shrink this wall down this side, mainly because this wall here you don't really need double walkways here, but I prefer the double just so the dogs have more time to sniff out things, whereas this we don't really need it, considering that they're never going to tunnel that way. They're always going to tunnel towards this edge. So let's just go from here. We'll go along, and that can go to there, and yeah, okay, that's about right. Okay. So, we'll have the entrance in like so, perhaps, or could we change it the other side? No, we couldn't, so that'll be about right. Again, this is all subject to change, all of this one here. For the other stuff then, so this atrium doesn't actually have any purpose now, does it, all of this? So we can probably get rid of a lot of it. We can probably... So to get into here, the problem is there isn't a central way in. You have to go through the kitchen, which is not a terrible thing. But, I mean, we could do that and increase the size of the kitchen if need be. I'm also thinking of doing that, and that is where our storage goes, because we do need a storage, so maybe something like that. Perhaps. It's only thinking aloud for the time being. Another entrance will go in... Actually, we'll increase the storage to there. And then this will be an entrance where we'll have a corridor going down, and my plan is to have all of the offices back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we don't really need a 5th and a 6th, or do we? because most of these, I was thinking about putting the offices around here for the foreman, although I think we'll do that, and that'll be the warden's office back there. So that's about right. In this section here, we'll have our staff room, like so. We do need a visitation. We do need all of the other stuff for things like laundry and all the shops and such. Although I'm very tempted to forego a lot of the extras. So things like, for example, we're probably not going to bother with, at the start anyway, armory, kennels. Oh no, we definitely need kennels. Definitely need kennels. We're not going to bother with library or classroom or mailroom, shop, anything like that. That'll be the expansion side of it. That could cause us problems, but it technically is not something that you need, so we'll see how we get on. What I'm going to do is have a pathway that goes along 2 to there, 2 along there. I know I'm leaving this one gap all the way around, but that's fine. And this is going to be our yard on either side, although I'm tempted to increase the size of that to about there. That's not too bad. We'll have it on both sides, naturally, and I think we're okay there. That's destined for yard. In fact, we will go ahead and we will set that as yard and yard. There we are. Now, you may be thinking, why do cats actually have 9 lives? Oh, you might be thinking other things as well, but I get a lot of comments saying that we always miss out on protective custody. We're not having any. Okay, protective custody is not going to be in this facility, and it's not an oversight. It's a noted choice at this stage in the game. It's not to say that we may not have any at all, but at the moment I don't plan on having any in the base area. If we expand, then we can expand with some of the other stuff. The problem with protective custody is that it takes up a lot of space, and we're going for low risk. So I don't know if it's exactly I don't know if it's strictly needed. Anyway, I'm gonna go with grants. Basic detention centre and administration centre. So we're going to spend some money because I might as well put some walling around the outside. You notice now we have different walls here. We have fence and we have barred wall. It doesn't strictly say the barred wall is 60. The fence is 3. So the white wall is 40. None of these is bringing up any. It's not bringing up any options for what it is. Like, it doesn't tell us. See, we've got hedge, we've got tiled wall, we've got perimeter wall and brick wall. See, none that's not actually bringing up any things to say what they are. It does for this, but none of this anymore. Or the doors. So it doesn't even tell us the price until we actually open it up. So the barred wall, I don't know if you can see through it, but we are going to use fence for the time being to go around the facility. I will go from here and around. I know I said we are not going to build anything in the first part of the episode, this episode, but to be honest with you, this is not going to change. Like, this wall around the outside, it's not going to change. Anyway, so we have this walkway around the outside. That's fine, that's outside. This is internal. All this will be internal. There's our staff room there. And then what we want is a wall going along, and that'll be set to a couple of different things. So we're going to have visitation for a start off. So how many visitor tables can we fit in? I'm probably going to put them on this side. We're going to have it as a fairly high capacity visitors area. Just because of sort of the nature of the beast, really, because of how many prisoners we've got. We're going to try and turn it the other way. We'll use our objects there, so it's that size. And regardless of what we do, it's going to be a weird size again, isn't it? Okay. I am going to put our pathways back and shrink the yard down. I think more space is needed. Like that. I think we just need a bit more space. So this is going to be our visitor area. Obviously the visitor area is right down the bottom, which may be that may cause some issues, but we'll see. We may also expand that pathway along to there, because there's going to be pathways all the way around, you see, like this. I'll just plan them in, like so, and along, and up here, like that. Yeah, and why would we want to not do that and gain ourselves a little bit more yard? Not opposed to that. I don't think that's a big problem. There we go. Right, are the workers actually cracking on building the fence? They are cracking on building the fence. Most excellent. Right, so this is going to be our visitation. It's going to be fairly huge, as you can see. What will happen is down here we'll have people coming in here. They'll go this way. You've got your staff room here, as well as the offices here with the warden at the bottom there. In fact, we could just do that and make the warden's office really big because they're the warden. The problem is that they are very close to here, which I'm not a big fan of. So what I might do is shift it to that side instead, and have it so that's where the visitation is there. We're just going to check the internals on that one. 13 by 18, and this should be about right. 13 by 18. Let's tentatively go with that, and that gives us a bit of it gives us a little bit more breathing room, because we can go, say, down from there, and as long as we have a 7 by something, yeah, by 5, want it to there. That's going to be our, say, parole. Cleaning cupboard, I believe, is a gap of 3. Cleaning cupboard minimum size. Cleaning cupboard is minimum size 3 by 3. Classroom is 5 by 5. And chapel as well. So we're not going to bother with the chapel, but we are going to bother with we'll have at the top here. This is going to be our, say, down to 6 there. That's going to be our laundry. In fact, we're going to make it 8 because this is a fairly big facility. In fact, is that big enough for the laundry? We can have all of the things back there. In fact, we're going to make it 10. We're going to make it 10. Or is that too big for a laundry? 12. A laundry of size 12, followed by a cleaning cupboard of 5. You know what? That. So, parole, which is 5. Cleaning cupboard of 3. Laundry of however it's ended up. 9 by something. Okay. Tentative plan. We'll go with something like that. That's fine. We have our canteen. We have our kitchen. We have this here, and what else are we missing out on? We are missing out on the dogs, which can go in here. In fact, we could make this much more connected. Have more dogs. What we'll do is we'll have the staff room. Doesn't need to be a massive size. Maybe 12. Then the dogs there, and that's about right. So, 12 to there, yeah, that's our room for, that's a staff room. We'll have entrances in there, like so. Doesn't really matter where the entrance is. Probably there. And then this, we're going to do a couple of things. Objects. 2, 3... Darn it. Okay, we'll have to shrink that down to there. So actually the staff rooms become a lot smaller than I originally thought, because this is where we're going to have our power supply. And you notice we've got 1, 2, 3 in total, because, well, we've got 4 workshops plus this in the centre, so it's, yeah, quite a bit. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at what we've got so far. It's already... I think I can see some changes need to be made, but we'll see how we get on. So... we've got, and this is probably going to be where we'll have the dogs, because we probably need a quite big area, although there's currently no access to it. Is there a problem there? It means that the staff, they could walk this way. No, I don't like that. That means that we'll have to do that. Not that it's a big problem. And, but we'll be missing out on that, and this is a problem there as well. There and there. So we're supposed to have the tables, you see. Entrance in there for the kitchen. And how do we get into there? I guess they come in here and go that way. Sort of the default option, isn't it? Have a door there. And this is where the dogs are. So if anyone tries to kick off in here and tries to run out, they've got 2 areas to go through past all the dogs. And good luck to them. So let's see what that is like. We will obviously have metal detectors and stuff there. Right, so that's the very first draft. Immediately I can tell it's loads of stuff we're missing out on. Just off memory, we've got all of the extra buildings, chapel, we've got the chapel missing, the classroom, probably got the staff room, haven't we? We've got staff room. I mean, things like the shop and library and all that sort of stuff isn't in there. Stuff of note, no holding cell, don't really need one because of the dormitories. No solitary, that is a problem. No infirmary or morgue, that is a bigger problem. So, is there anything we can do about it at this stage? No, I don't think there is. I think that as a basic plan isn't too bad. Because the other stuff you don't necessarily need, as in for basic detention centre. When we expand to the north, we'll have all of this extra area where I was planning on putting the buildings there. So we can get... that's parole. We've got parole. So we can have all the classroom and the chapel and other things that I mentioned, as well as the infirmary and morgue. Okay, we're going to go that with a base plan for now. I'm not too sure about the maths and how stuff connects up and such, but yeah, I think for a starting point, we are not doing too bad. So we're going to leave it there. Next episode, then, we will probably crack on and start on the grants. So we've got administration centre, we've got basic detention centre, we will hire people so we can get an extra grant. To be fair, the extra grant will probably be along the lines of probably be along the lines of the infirmary stuff, so we'll have to put that in a temporary area. Quick look at the rooms. We haven't got a common room. That is a problem. I can see us expanding sooner rather than later. In fact, we'll probably get land expansion and expand before we even get prisoners. But yeah, maybe going on to a medium-sized map was the right call. So yeah, we've done it now. This is what we're going to be dealing with. So we will crack on and see how far we get on next episode with the building. Hope you have enjoyed the episode. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.